സന്തോഷമായിരിക്കും.
Catchy chorus, electrifying beats, and killer dance moves to match have made this next song a global sensation.
And now, here I am with the Oscars. There was only one wish on my mind. So was Rajamouli's and my family's. RRR has to win, pride of every Indian.
Na paata zudo, na paata zudo, na paata zudo, naatu 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 veela naatu.
All right, so everyone, of course, has seen the magnum opus, has celebrated through the day, but there are many unheard stories of behind the scenes that took place, and who better than the cast, the people most intimately associated with the film, to tell us about it. Joining us now is Richard Bhakti Klein, an actor in RRR, Emerine Anjum, who also essays the character of Loki, Prithvi Chandra, somebody who's lent his voice to the soundtrack of RRR, and G. Jeevan Babu, music producer and keyboard programmer for Naatu Naatu. Mr. Babu, I want to start by asking you, today when Deepika Padukone introduced Naatu Naatu as a banger, had you ever thought that that word would be used for the song, and that too at the Oscars?
Yeah, definitely.
What is it like with both of the actors and specifically the director? Because they are of course superstars individually, making magnum opuses in the past as well. One, how were you cast, and what was it like working with a director like this?
So my scenes were with NTR. I didn't get the chance to work with Ram Charan, but it didn't really feel like, because in my character I call him Anna, which is like big brother. So on set also he felt just like a big brother who's taking care of all of us. That stardom factor or anything else wasn't there. It was very warm on set. And Rajamouli sir is the most humble person I have ever met, and his entire family. Because all of us would sit together, have lunch together, talk about things apart from just the film, like my family, what's my background, how many people are there in my family, what is my educational background. We discuss a lot of different things. But on set, he is a magician. He knows what he wants, and he can get that out from every person working on that set. Be it the crew, the cast, he knows what he wants. And for me, working with him, I know as an actor, I have been able to deliver more than like my best, which I have never felt ever in my life. Like as an actor, I used to go back because we were shooting in the jungles. It was hectic. But I used to have a very satisfied sleep and wake up excited in the morning to shoot for the next day. And talking about the second part of your question, I had auditioned for this role of Loki in Mumbai at Jogi Film Casting in 2017. And then I never heard back. And in 2019, I got a call saying that we want you for this part. And I had even forgotten about it. And which part is it? Remember S.S. Rajamouli sir's film? I was like, oh, okay, I have to be finalized for that.
And for this to get an Oscar, what do you make of that?
I think the Naatu Naatu, the actual meaning or the core of this track is about how raw the song is in the local language. Like Polam Kattu Dumulana Potla Gita Dukinatu. It depicts like how raw the fields or like the green fields or how the cattle is. That's how raw the dance is. That's what the whole song depicts. So actually, I think when Jeevan Anna was actually programming the track, I was right next, and I was visiting the couple of versions right from when the song was a baby. I was right. Sir actually composed the Naatu Naatu, the hook phrase. Naatu 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 in the first go itself. So in the first go itself, I think he locked the phrase, but then we were working on the variation of how the other song goes. and we were instantly hooked with how this went, and I think we never imagined what scale it would go, and today we are actually holding an Oscar. The whole India is proud. I think it's a fantastic moment.
Richard, if you don't mind me asking, I want to begin by asking you, why do you have the middle name Bhakti?
Oh, it's a long and personal story, but I mean bhakti in the biggest sense of love and devotion, like bhakti yoga. It describes my love for India and my devotion for the country here. It reminds me to stay in my heart. To be honest, I have a tendency to be in my head, and so when I hear the name, I'm reminded to stay within my emotions and my body and my heart, and it works on a lot of different levels for me. Thank you for asking.
Coming from the United States, of course, you've been in India, you worked in Indian cinema for almost 30 plus years, if I'm not mistaken.
Not quite that long, but yes.
Okay. How did you react to, the story of Indian freedom fighters?
The Oscars.
Yeah. There's the last 50, 60, 70 years of Indian history has been amazing. And I think that in cinema is a really beautiful way to tell the story of a lot of the freedom fighters that maybe some of the younger generation is not that familiar with. And so even though I'm on the wrong side of the story, you could say, I'm very happy to participate in the telling of these stories so that the freedom fighters, their spirit and their energy and their devotion to India can live on, and people can learn about them in future generations.
Emerine, what do you make of a story so intrinsically Indian? In fact, Deepika Padukone, when she was introducing Naatu Naatu, also spoke of how this was an anti-colonial film which was very consciously made to retell India's history through the eyes of Indians.
Yeah, I think that is what actually worked for the film, the Indianness of the film, from the beginning to the end, and as well as in the songs, because we are being very true to our culture. We are representing our culture in the rawest form possible. And that is what people like watching, because India has gone through a struggle. India has been, the British have ruled India for a long time. And what the Indians have felt during that time, the oppression and everything, that we have tried to show in the purest form possible. Though it is a fictionalized story of the two freedom fighters, but we knew there was a lot of oppression and everything. And showing that in the truest form possible, as well as having an emotional connect, because it's all about relationships too, between the characters, between the tribe. So I think because we have brought out our culture so beautifully, people all over the world have really connected with it well.
As an actor, do you also think that this is an effort by Indian filmmakers to try and, when we talk about the gaze, right, for very long we've had a certain gaze looking at India and telling our stories in a certain way. This is an effort to try and change that gaze and tell the world, we will tell the story of India ourselves.
Absolutely, because I think, not to be very specific, but I think most of the times India is just considered as a poor nation and there are no more layers to it when it is represented in maybe people who are making films abroad. But there is so much more to Indian culture. There's not just poverty is just one part of it, but it's not what the entire Indian culture is. There's a lot more to it. There are so many layers. There's so many traditions which we as Indians can definitely highlight, because people who have not lived in India during that period or have not heard the stories from their ancestors don't actually know what has happened in India and what Indians have gone through. So having an Indian filmmaker tell the story definitely, alters the gaze for the entire audience.
And it's funny, like you would think that, there are a couple of caricatures. One, what we've seen a little bit of the James Bond movies, the auto rickshaws, the crowded streets, the push carts and the snake charmers, and then you have the poverty. And then there are those overly caricaturized song sequences with blingy bindis. So while Prithvi, you had one half which was done away with and said, listen, there is more to us than just, poor people and snake charmers. But you didn't hold back from saying, no, we have like plenty of music and dancing, and we are very happy to do it, and we are far more energetic than anyone can ever imagine. So you've done like a healthy mix of both. Prithvi, that's for you.
And to make the entire, when we were working on the background parts and we were working on the composing scratches, I think we were given some briefs about how the visual is going to be put up like, and then we were trying to match every possible sound design to actually match that rawness to the visual grandeur. And right when the track was formed, I think everybody were so excited to see how is it going to be picturized. And trust me, it was very kept under very close circles that until the movie was released, no one had clue what was actually being screened on. And then it was a banger for the team itself. Like, you know, okay, this is what we've been working on for so many years. And Rajmouli sir, being a master storyteller, I think he had the vision right when he was giving the inputs for the scratch. He knew perfectly knew what he exactly wanted, and I think he achieved that in the fairest way possible. And that's why I think.
Yeah, Jeevan Babu sir, tell us about the technicalities, because we see the end product, but there are just so many, you know, tweaks and nips and tucks that happened in the process of making a song. Talk us through that. How is this song made? Something like a Naatu Naatu.
Actually, when we started the song itself, Rajmouli sir and Kiran sir, they totally explained how the song should sound. Like, means it sound like it should sound like very raw, and it should also sound little, means not that modern, but little bit matching to I don't know, good English, please don't mind. अभी ये ट्रेंड को मैच करने जैसा होना चाहिए ऐसा.
तो उनकी ब्रीफ थी क्या? उन्होंने आकर के ऐसे बोला कि इसका साउंड ऐसा सा होना चाहिए, थोड़ा सा उन्होंने ऐसे गा करके सुना. आई एम जस्ट लाइक क्यूरियस, किस तरह से आपको ब्रीफ दिया जाता है जब इतना बड़ा आपका मैग्नम ओपस एंड रिजल्ट होता है? तो उसकी शुरुआत में ब्रीफ क्या होता है कि धमाका गाना बना देना? व्हाट इज द ब्रीफ?
नहीं ऐसा नहीं. Actually, Kiran sir explains everything with singing. He sings what he wants, whatever he wants. Suppose he sings like that. Everything he'll sing and say.
So then how did he sing it out for you? वो पहली मीटिंग हमें बताइए कि पहली मीटिंग कितनी लंबी चली, कैसे उन्होंने आपको बताया?
With voice and easy. It's a big story, madam. That song nearly took, if you count with days, it took nearly 4 months. Suppose the total time was 1 year.
For one song?
Hello? One song it nearly took, means total overall time. Suppose if you mix all sessions together, no, I think you can take like 3.5 months, 4 months. So, but that song almost it took 1 year, means like all cut sessions like that. Nearly, I think first tune, nearly 15 tunes, I think, according to my memory. 16th tune got okay. After that, in that nearly we did 60 to 70 versions.
Wow, 60 to 70 versions for a song over the period of a year. That's quite something.
Everything was.
Richard, tell me, you know, Hollywood also is a lot of awards also have an underlying politics. It's a slightly political question. Given the theme that this was, you know, about revolutionaries, it is anti-colonial, how do you think a story like this resonated?
In India and around the world is because it is a purely Indian story. It's not trying to be a Hollywood movie. It's not trying to take stories from around the world. It's homegrown. It's purely Indian in every way. And I think that Hollywood recognizes authenticity in that way. It recognizes the pure spirit of it in that way. And really, it's a it's an award for this song, but it's the way that the Oscars work is that they pick one award that they think will work, but it's really to honor the film itself. So we won the award for the song, but it's really the entire movie that won. And honestly, I feel it's the entire Indian cinema industry that won. This is a nod to all of Indian movies and all of Bollywood and Tollywood and all of the regional cinemas. And it's Hollywood recognizing what we do and what we've been doing. And it's just wonderful to see it get that kind of recognition on the world stage.
Prithvi, on a personal note, which is your favorite song?
I think Naatu Naatu is my favorite. Though I have done Newshour Agenda, the climax song of the film, I think Naatu Naatu has all my love. And I'm very proud that my friends, we grew up together, Kala Bhairava and Rahul Siddhidan. We started our careers and songs with Kiravani sir for almost 10 years. It's so happy that my friends have performed exceptionally well. The energetic levels of the vocal, the dynamic range of it, I think they have performed exceptionally well. And it was so good to see them on stage representing all our Indian music fraternity. And the live sequence which was played and the choreographers there on the live event, I think it went fantabulous. We couldn't ask for a better presentation on a world stage representing India.
Did you ever go to Mr. Rajamouli or to Mr. Kiravani and say, why not me? Matlab, main kyun nahi? I also want to do that.
The thing is, them selecting me for harmony itself is a very prestigious thing for me. And I was just secretly wishing I would just do a background alap, but I was blessed with the moon. I got a song in the Magnum Office, a film that made history, and this will be remembered, and I will be a part of history. That itself is giving a great moment. I'm so happy for Naatu Naatu, and I believe that is my song as well because I was there right next. We have a lot of background vocals that I've done, the chorus part, the shouts and everything and I still feel it is my song. When they were receiving the award, I think I had tears in my eyes and it was a very emotional moment for me.
I know you must be getting asked this all the time, but I can't let you go without singing both the songs. So you have to sing your song, you have to sing Naatu Naatu as a bonus for us.
Yes, sure. So I'll just first do the celebration. The Newshour Agenda, the track I did, is about, it is not much of the differences. The song meaning conveys it's not much of the differences. Let's all celebrate the whole idea is to celebrate the celebration after the entire victory, what is depicted in the film. So I'll do this charanam, the last stanza, the last verse, which means it doesn't matter who is it. We just have to celebrate. That's what I think this film depicts. And Vadu vidu yavadaite yendira nidinade manade ijatara tikula minda divitilla dondara tadarale tarvai sivamettara veyana dandora velichampana urura vedugala chenura vela kannula mindara Adia Dileka, Adarali Tanka, Talamesiado, Tayantai Tanka, General Tokani, Chandrulo Jinka, Elamida Valado, Casam Lotsuka, Eturu Marigite, Etara Jenda, Satu Rimite, Kotara Konda. And I think Rajamouli sir slightly hinted that, okay, we are gonna rock this world with that entry of his. When the entire film is done, he just enters with Adiya Dilekka. I think he gave us a hint that this is gonna get global, this is gonna get huge.
Superb, superb, and heartiest congratulations to all of you. I am guessing there will be many, many more celebrations. But on a parting note, tell me honestly, Richard, you first, and then you, Emerine. Are you asked like in parties, at friends and weddings to dance to Naatu Naatu?
Yeah, sometimes. More often for me, I'm asked to say the iconic lines that I say in the movie, like, he scares me more. I get asked to say that all the time and, arrest that bastard. That kind of stuff is what I'm asked to say over and over again at parties.
Well, that's exactly what we love hearing in our parties. Arrest that bastard. Emery, right? What about you?
My friends and people I know, they don't even ask me this. They just play the song and everybody starts dancing and then I have to join it no matter what. mentioning it. I've heard this song so many times, even at the holy parties, everybody was playing it. So I think it's become like the national anthem now.
Oh, totally. And to be fair, I don't even think you need to have the song played anymore. Enjoy the moment. Thank you very much to all of you for RRR and, of course, for Naatu Naatu. Thank you.